My name is Mueti. I've already been introduced. I'm the director for One-to-One Healthcare Solutions. A Zambian trained nurse. I have been a nurse for quite a long time, actually. Long time. And I've been in healthcare management and in consultancy for the last 15 years. And with that concerns dealing with CQC compliance and commissioning of new services and all of that headache that comes with with healthcare. But I do enjoy it, and I've still kept my PIN number as a nurse. I haven't practiced as a nurse in a long time, but I always feel like it's very important to keep what sets you up to what you're doing, as your day job. So I'm going to share a little bit about healthcare strategy and workforce solutions. If we could go to the next stage, that just introduces who I am. That's how my name is spelled. I don't know why everybody says Moomba. It's Moomba. It's Moomba. It's a very Tonga name. Easy. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah, and basically that is what we do. So I'm going to launch into what I'd like to share with all of you. And by the way, what beautiful presentations we've received so far. Really, really good. I think sometimes we kind of just gloss over some of these things. I think when you listen and you hear and you understand, good stuff has been shared in here. So thank you to everybody that has spoken before me. That was really good. Okay, so I'd like to speak to people that might have an interest within the healthcare sector. As introduced, not only do we have an interest with healthcare within Zambia, we've also invested in private healthcare in Zambia, more specific in Livingstone, in a private clinic, and I'm also a director of Sunset Hills Memorial Park Cemetery, which is coming up and opening shortly in Zambia. So we are very much on the healthcare spectrum, and now just going across into dealing with and more beyond end of life into respect for the dead as well. And I think that's a bit of a taboo subject amongst us, isn't it? Yeah. And I no longer think like a nurse anymore. Okay, I think like a businessman, because one of the things we do as Africans is we don't really talk about death. We don't really write wills, but we spend a lot during a funeral. So I thought, let me open a private cemetery. There you are, because I know. So at the end of the day, I think these are topics that we should talk about. These are things that are definitely going to happen. Whatever religion you are in, that is the one thing we all know is going to happen to each and every one of us. So if you haven't written a will, please, I would encourage you to write one. If you haven't thought about what should happen to you, after you die, think about it. Now I digress. Let me get back to my topic. Okay, so in terms of healthcare investment within the UK, I think that's one of the things that is very dear to my heart, because when you look at the makeup of the workforce within the UK healthcare industry, it's made up of majority people like you and me, in terms of the workforce. And I always try to challenge people to say, if we can drive the chains and the wheels that make this industry go around, why can't we be entrepreneurial about it? What stops us? And all it has to take is a bit of a mind shift. We have to think about the opportunities. When we think about opportunities, a lot of people would want to say, oh, let me open home care, let me buy a care home. And what we need to do is to look at where the opportunities lie. And where do the opportunities lie? Look at the area where you want to invest. Look at what the the plans for the local authority within that area. What are some of their priorities? And look at the demographics. One of the things is we have an aging population within the UK, isn't it? Good healthcare makes people live longer. So you already have a ready market. No, and I don't want to look at people as commodities, no, but I look at it as providing a service. Because in the absence of those services, those people would have no care provided to them. So if we were to bring a brand and bring companies on board that were going to provide services that would meet people's expectations, that would meet people's preferences, we would be meeting people, in terms of what they really, really need. When we look at, the other group, we have a huge demand for, learning disability, and autism in this country. Again, those are opportunities that are not really, really, they've not yet been identified as much where we come from. How about we dab into them? We have a good understanding. How about we are able to then transmit that knowledge and be able to open a similar thing, back home. We use that knowledge. I like people that are that are vulnerable enough to say, this is what I'm going through, this is my situation, however, this is what I've learned, whether it's looking after an elderly parent, majority of the time, like I think somebody said, we don't have care homes in Zambia. That's quite strange, isn't it? Quite strange. Do we know who looks after the elderly in our homes back home in Zambia? Family, it could be a maid. Now, all those people are untrained. Have we ever thought about, how dangerous all of that is? Okay? Now, we cannot just be good carers or caregivers or care providers in the sense of a company back home without creating a template in a country where we are at the moment. One of the things the UK has is a regulatory framework. And if healthcare has a regulatory framework that we can then transpose and be able to use as a benchmark, whether in our business, in Zambia or elsewhere, you will find that you will be able to change the healthcare landscape back home. When we look at the health, I go back to the workforce, we talked about majority of the workforce within the healthcare sector is foreign, isn't it? Good amount. This is why, anybody ever heard of COS, the famous COS?
Yes.
Okay. Why was that brought about? Foreign workers, isn't it? Yeah. I remember as a young man being interviewed in Zambia, recruited as a nurse, and I came to work here. Why? Because even back then there was a need for healthcare workers in this country to come and work as a nurse. And one of the things we need to be able to see is you have to have that ambition in you to move from being just a worker to how can I own? Okay? Now, I deal with quite a lot of different companies, whether we are commissioning a hospital or whether it's a care agency or related like CAMS or Children's Home and OFSTED. I tend to find that one of the things that we really are not as strong on is things like creating business plans, strong business plans. It's things like talking to your bank. Do you even know how much the banks are lending money at for care providers? It's very low. They're literally encouraging people to go and talk to them so that they can invest, because they know that that's an industry that is strong enough that will still be around for a long time. When you talk to people about marketing, a good number of people, I don't know, just not really as strong on marketing. They will maybe rely on somebody just giving them a service user, just just from a conversation. Oh, I can give you. No, 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 no. Do you have a website? No. Do you have a business card? No. How, how are you going to run a business? And I see this repeatedly. And when I speak to my own people, I tend to think that when you think about your competition, okay? So your competition is got a website, they've got a business card. Not only that, they probably have joined Skills for Care, so they are already attending meetings in those places where care is being spoken about. They've maybe met the commissioners at the local authority. Those are things that we can pretty much do on our own if we do want to create a healthcare investment and company that would outlast us. I always say to people, do not create a company just for you. Create a company that outlives you. Okay? Because if you make anything now, I'm sure Swenga sausages will be there 100 years from now, and they will be talking about our great-granddad created this. That's what you want. That's what you want. What opportunities are we leaving them? So when it comes to returns within the healthcare, you will find that the returns are good if you are disciplined enough. Okay, if you're disciplined enough, the returns are good. We know of a huge number of companies that have been shut down because of abuse of COS. Okay, again, that was because people wanted to make quick money. Okay, if you're disciplined enough, you're making the good strides. You are keeping your CQC ratings okay. Keep it to outstanding. Keep it to good. That will always give you contracts with local authorities and with commissioners as well. You have got to make sure that above and all, you look at what everybody else is providing. Don't be a one-trick pony business. Think about what do we do next? What are our competitors doing? How can we outsmart them? If people are doing, are looking after just looking after the elderly, 18 to 65 and above. How about adding in the children element? Because now you can have both OFSTED and CQC registration. So think about those things whereby you can get supported accommodation that takes in children from age 13. When they get to 17, they can go 16, they can go into your supported accommodation. Supported accommodation, they can still leave as care leavers after that. So you've got a long stretch of income. Quick things I'd like to throw. CQC 101 for investors. So you make sure that you have very good knowledge round about how CQC works. How many people in here are from the healthcare sector? Good. Good. How many have been involved in a CQC inspection? How many found it good? Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So the way I always tell people is a CQC inspection should be something you look forward to. Okay? Not a lot of people think like that. But if you are prepared, you will always look forward to them to come in, because your improvement and your learning is happening on a daily basis. So make sure that you are aware of regulatory framework, roundabout single assessment framework, the quality statements, the quality of staff you employ. Do they carry your vision? Do they carry your ethos? Have they learned what you really want to do? Or is it just a case of just employing people? Compliance, and this is the bit where we come in. Compliance risk, that you carry on a daily basis. How much do you know in terms of ensuring you're always compliant? Because if you're not compliant, that is your business gone, isn't it? Cool. Let's quickly go to the next slide. I quickly just want to talk to you in closing just about CQC. So basically, CQC is an independent regulator. You've got to understand the registration requirements, understand the step by step. There are a lot of people that would, the whole process of applying has been changed now. Very, very much so. And you've got to understand all of these things before you actually venture into the business. Next slide. Next slide. Next flight. It's because I'm on a flight in a few hours. Who are CQC and why compliance matters? As I said, they're an independent care regulator. They do carry ratings. And as you know, from our job, we tend to know in terms of how, the changes, if anything, there's some more changes coming to CQC. Those ratings, there are certain services that have not been inspected since 2018. We've got some of our clients that haven't been inspected for the last 7 years. So imagine if you carry a poor rating and you carry it for 7 years and how that affects your business. Legally, you cannot operate without registration. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so types of regulated activity. There is mostly personal care that is attached to domiciliary care. There are a lot of other regulated activities, whether it's a residential home, whether it's treatment of diseases, that all comes under different. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so pre-application, like I said, create a strong business plan with financial sustainability. Don't just do it on the basis of, I want to open a care business and then you wing it. No, have a minimum of 6 months worth of funds to operate, believing that you have no clients. If you do get them, that's good, but work on that assumption and then you will be in a better place. You need to have robust policies and procedures. You need to have a governance structure. So that means you need to have an RM and an NI. Governance also covers things around your audit system and what really keeps your organization compliant with CQC. Ensure your premises and IT systems are all ready. Quick thing to note, if you're getting an office these days, CQC really are very strict on access for the disabled people. So if you do get an office on the upstairs and there is no wheelchair access, that might go against you. Key roles, let's go to the next one. I've explained that. So application process, these days you have to email them in. We used to have a portal. The portal has been paused a little bit because CQC made a mashup of it. I won't tell you a story behind it. Complete the online application or the paper application. You need to have a statement of purpose that actually describes what you do. DBS checks, these have to be enhanced, and fit and proper persons test, that goes into looking at whether you can be a person of, in a position of trust to work, because you're working with vulnerable people, as well as having to pay fees and a pre-registration interview. So that's an interview you have to go through. Let's go to the next one. And then those are the fundamental standards for CQC, very important for you to know. And I'm more than happy to email any of these to anybody that will want it afterwards. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so preparing for an inspection, you need to have the evidence of your compliance, your training records, your quality assurance, feedback from service users, and any mock inspections, which we do, and then you can also have your internal audits. Next one. And basically there we are, and that is what we tend to do, and that is where we come in and support you. Okay, we take the headache and we take the heat, but all in all, I would like to encourage everybody to say, do venture into healthcare. Healthcare is big if you do it right, and do it very, very well, because we are looking after human beings who are loved ones. Thank you very much.